just me and my sign. God, how'd I get here? I'm losing my mind. Would I do it again? Stop my life for a call, for someone I don't know or even recall. For a hero's welcome is not why I'll stand. Would I do it again? Count me in. I've fallen in the pits. Could you lend me a hand? For the freedom is ours, and together we stand. Would I do it again? Stop my life for a call, for someone I don't know or even recall. For a hero's welcome is not why I'll stand. Would I do it again? Count me in. Would I do it again? Count me in. Here I am. Nunca volveré a mentirte, nunca te vayas de mí, nunca volveré a decirte que no necesito de ti. Desde que tú me dejaste, nunca pude ser feliz, y ahora vengo a rogarte que regreses junto a mí. Nunca volveré a mentirte, nunca quiero estar sin ti, nunca volveré a decirte que puedo vivir sin ti. Desde que tú me dejaste, solo vivo en mi sufrir, y ahora vengo a molestarte que tú vuelvas junto a mí. Regresa a mí, regresa a mí, regresa a mí, que no puedo estar sin ti. Regresa a mí, regresa a mí, regresa a mí, que sin ti voy a morir. Nunca volveré a mentirte, no te apartes ya de mí, nunca volveré a decirte que no necesito de ti. Si regresas a mi lado, te voy a hacer muy feliz. Olvida todo lo pasado, ven y calma mi sufrir. Regresa a mí, regresa a mí, regresa a mí, que no puedo estar sin ti. Regresa a mí, regresa a mí, regresa
K-Alamo 98.9 FM Dili San Antonio, K221GF 921 of San Antonio. This is K-Alamo 98.9 and 92.1 FM. We are San Antonio. Columbus Broadcasting
El ángel del
Station.
Señor anunció a María y concibió por el Espíritu Santo. Dios te salve María, llena es de gracia, el Señor es contigo. Bendita tú eres entre todas las mujeres, y bendito es el fruto de tu vientre Jesús. Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén. He aquí la esclava del Señor, hágase en mí según tu palabra. Dios te salve María, llena es de gracia, el Señor es contigo. Bendita tú eres entre todas las mujeres, y bendito es el fruto de tu vientre Jesús.
Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros pecadores,
ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén. Y el Verbo se hizo carne y habitó entre nosotros. Dios te salve María, llena es de gracia, el Señor es contigo. Bendita tú eres entre todas las mujeres, y bendito es el fruto de tu vientre Jesús.
Santa María, Madre de Dios, ruega por nosotros pecadores, ahora y en la hora de nuestra muerte. Amén.
Ruega por nosotros, Santa Madre de Dios, para que seamos dignos de las promesas de Cristo. Oración. Te rogamos, Señor, que infundas en nuestras almas tu gracia, para los que hemos conocido por la anunciación del ángel la encarnación de tu Hijo Jesucristo, lleguemos por su pasión y por su cruz a la gloria de la resurrección. Por Jesucristo nuestro Señor, que vive y reina por los siglos de los siglos. Amén.
Santa voluntad.
Danoslo, Señor, nuestro pan, el pan de cada día, y perdona nuestras deudas, así como nosotros perdonamos.
Antes bien, líbranos del mal, no nos dejes caer en tentación, líbranos del mal.
Padre nuestro, que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre.
Baby, yeah.
Summer's here. It's time to look good, feel good, and get healthier. Call Inspire Serenity Med Spa by Michelle and start your skinny wellness shots today. Call 210-957-1530.
All right.
Hello, San Antonio and everybody around the world. This is Rita Hernandez.
And I'm Michelle Shaw.
And welcome to Live on Air with Rita and Michelle. And we're excited to be here. We're back.
We're back. That's right. We missed last week, so we missed everybody out there, but we are here today, and it is a nice, hot day outside.
Yes, it's a nice, and I love coming in here where it's nice and cold.
It's nice and cold. Yes, because you're an Eskimo.
Yeah, I'm an Eskimo.
Big
Through
time.
and through.
Big time. You know, speaking of being hot, how did you like the rainstorm that we got yesterday?
Well, I didn't get anything.
You didn't get any rain?
Mm-mm.
Wow. We got hammered over here. And not only that, we got hail.
Yeah, no, we didn't
Little
get
chunks of
anything.
hail. And I was tripping out because the cars were not in the garage. And when I saw the hail coming down, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it in time to get into the garage.
Yeah.
Thank God it was little bitty.
No, I think we got the wind because I know I could hear stuff moving about in the backyard.
Yes.
But one of the things, speaking of our backyard, we got the bulky from the city. The bulky pickup is coming.
Oh,
So now we get
yes.
to throw away all the stuff in our backyard that we don't need since we moved in. I've been waiting for this day. See all the stuff
That's a
that I
great
get
day.
excited for?
I know, but that's
I get-
exciting. I just did mine.
I get excited for bulky pickup because since our move, we didn't have a storage, the garage in the back. So now we get to throw away
Just take
stuff
it
that
all
we
to
don't.
the
It's like,
front.
come pick it up.
Come pick it up. And we just did that, and we had this really huge fish tank, right? A big, big one. And we figured, they would either take it or somebody would pick it up. But just to lift it, it takes like 3 people, right?
Yeah.
Well, instead, they broke it
Yeah.
and left it there. The city didn't pick it up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so now we got to go and we got to bust it up, the rest of it, because they broke it, and get rid of it
Oh,
ourselves.
my goodness. Yeah, we have a couch to throw out as well. So I'm just like, I hope they pick that up. They
Yeah,
better pick it up,
you
so.
never know. You never
Yeah.
know.
But anyway, San Antonio, thank you so much for tuning
yes,
in.
thank you.
Don't forget to follow K-Alamo on their pages. And one of the great things that I love about Homer is that we're trying to put it on all the platforms as we go live and
That's right.
showcase on all the different platforms from YouTube and Roku and Instagram and Facebook and the radio and, a little bit of everything so that we can share all the great information that, we have here with our guests and, a little bit of what's happening in our lives. And, I just love that we're able to do that here.
I
on
do too.
K-Alamo,
And, big shout out to Homer and, of course, DJ Chaz.
Yes.
They are always here with us. And, what's pretty amazing about K-Alamo is they are now with the times. They have the Roku channel, they have their Facebook, their Instagram, and they love sharing everything with
Yes,
everybody,
yes.
especially the community events, the artists, all the great music, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing they got going on here. And it's all the Lopez stations, radio
Yes.
stations are like this. So again, big shout out to the whole Lopez family and everything y'all do for the community and for all the artists out there.
And hopefully for next week, and that's what I love about our collaboration, our partnership, to even stream to our radio station for Inspiration for Life Radio.
That's right.
To where we can also have this show also playing on there at the same time.
That's right.
So there's just so many amazing ways that we can put it out there. And this is the place, K-Alamo 98.9 FM. So tune in if you have to, if you're on Facebook and have to get off, just go to the radio car dial 98.9 FM, or there's plenty of apps for you to download. So
That's right. Right. Some of the apps, you can tell them about that while we're here. They got the Roku app, right?
Yes, they have the Roku, and you can also download it on your phone.
Oh,
so
okay.
for the TV network and also for the radio station for you to just tune in, there's the K-Alamo app that you could download as well.
That's
So,
wonderful. And of course, Inspiration for Life has their Roku app as well.
yes, so a little bit of everything where you can see our shows
That's
on there
right.
as well. So again, the beauty and
In
unity, the
for,
beauty and
for
unity,
everybody, for the community.
collaborations, yes. And it's just a wonderful place when you come in, because like I said, even last week that we had stuff to take care of, it was my son's first day of school.
First day of school, everybody. I'm wondering how the
So-
week went for everybody.
Oh
How
my
was your week?
gosh. Well, it's been, like I said, y'all know my AJ. He's AJ, and Mama Bear has to be there for him and
That's right.
make sure that he's taken care of.
That's
and,
right.
Because
That's what we
nobody
do.
else will take care of him the way I do, and we're like this, y'all. We're like this. So he's been with me pretty much 6 years of his life, and he homeschooled last year, and of course during the year that I had my surgery, we've been like bubblegum. He's my bubblegum. I call him my chicle.
That's
so
right.
it was a hard transition. And the first day of school, I kid you not, guys, this is what he says. I'm in the window and I see him, and when you see each other, it's like when you haven't seen somebody for 20 years and your heart races.
Yes.
And you're like, oh my gosh, like, come here, Papa. Well, he saw me, he lit up, he had tears in his eyes. He had tears. He ran out the door and he goes, I wish school never existed, in front of everybody. So everybody starts laughing, right? I'm like, hey, Jay, this is just your first day of school. You have 12 more years to go. And he goes, 12 more years?
Oh, that is so funny.
That was, I mean, he makes everybody laugh. It was just so funny.
He is funny.
And when we did the meet the teacher that Friday before, so we go in there and the teacher says, hi, how's your name? I told him, I want you to do your thing. You go introduce yourself. They're like, hi, what's your name? He goes, AJ, no. My name is Angel Julian Ramos Hernandez. And they're like, oh, okay, yes.
Wow, he's got it down.
Yeah, he goes, that's how it is on my record. So I know that's what y'all are going to call me. I was like, oh my gosh. So he goes, before we do anything, he goes, I need to check out the playground. I need to test it out first before.
There you go.
That's the first thing I need to do. I need to test out the playground. I'm like, oh my gosh. So he's just making everybody laugh.
That is so funny. And he's extremely smart.
Yes, he
and
is.
very, very different, because I know I have a wonderful child just like that. And he was my best friend. So I call him not just my chicle. He was like my best friend. And during high school, we were working out every day. We would go to the beach on the weekends, and he went to college, and it was really tough, because he was gone, like in Waco, far away. But we survived, and he's going to do great. And so for all the parents out there, I wonder if we were to take a survey, how many moms would say, this is great, the kids are in school, it's time to work on me, it's me time, or how many moms would say, I miss my kids so much. I cry every day.
Well, like I said, it was hard for me, especially that first day. Like I said, I was like, I need to be here. Of course, they did call me on his first day of school. He's doing great, but he doesn't want to eat. That's one of the things, is like, he doesn't want to sit with the class. He wants to sit by himself and eat his food, because he's very sensitive at looking at what you have, and he gets that asco. And he'll just be like, I can't, and he'll want to throw up. So he goes through those things. That's like, he's
very particular.
Yes, very particular with smells. He's very sensitive. So I pack him like a pack of mints. Okay, smell those mints. You're gonna be fine. But he'll sit in his own little station. He has reading books and stuff to play to kind of just keep him going and stuff. So he goes through his things, but you know what? I was like, he's doing great, because the teacher goes, he's doing good. He ate his food. He ate his lunch, but he will eat his breakfast at home. He will not eat breakfast at school. He goes, once I get there, I just want to get started with my work
and get it over with.
Yeah, he goes, I want to get started with my work.
So
I'm always just wanting to make sure. And I love the new system. It's an app that you text with the teachers.
Oh, wonderful!
So we're just constantly texting each other. Oh, he did great today. He participated.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah,
That's great.
I have that peace of mind. I'm very like, ooh, because I'll drop everything. I'll just drop my whole world of,
That's
I
the
don't need
mama
to
bear.
do this. I'll just stay home and wait.
That's
and
the mama bear.
And be with my son, But yeah, I had to learn to let go.
Oh, you're still learning.
I had to learn to just
and it's still going to take time.
Okay.
It's still going to take time. I know you and I could talk about our babies like all day long, because we're the mama bears, right? That's what we do. But I know what, we have some wonderful things going on today. We have a great guest in the house. She's a very good friend of mine.
Yes.
She's been in the entertainment industry for a while, and she's going to be talking about her business and some of the things that she does. And what I like about it is that she's, her business is aimed to help people, to help other artists. And we're definitely going to go over all that. That's exciting.
Yes.
And of course, we're going to hear some great hacienda music.
Ooh, all right. Well, let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
That's right.
Si quieres verme llorar, dime que vas a dejarme, que tú vas a abandonarme y no piensas regresar. Si quieres verme llorar, dime que ya no me quieres, que por otro amor te mueres. Si me quieres ver llorar, verme llorar. Dime que vas a dejarme, que tú vas a abandonarme y no piensas regresar. Si me quieres ver sufrir, mírame que estoy sufriendo, que tu amor estoy perdiendo, y sin ti voy a morir. Si quieres verme llorar, dime que ya no me quieres, que por otro amor te mueres. Si me quieres ver llorar, dime que ya no me quieres. Si me quieres ver llorar.
All right, and that was a Hacienda classic with Miss Lisa Lopez. And you know, that is just such a beautiful song, the arrangement, the production. And it's funny because I remember when I heard the original version of that song, and it was a bolero. And when I hear that, Lisa's version, it's like it's completely different, like
It's a
night
song,
and day.
It's a song that when you're home alone, you sing really loud.
Ah.
Nobody's listening. You're just
Or in the
like-
shower.
Or in the shower, in the shower. And you know, a fun fact,
That's
she was
DJ Taz right there.
Right, hello, DJ Taz. A fun fact, she was one of the first Tejanas, if not the first Tejana, to break out into the international market. And that was the song that took her to like #2 on the Billboard charts, where she was touring with Juan Gabriel. And his song at that time was Querida, and it was #1. Y Sin Quieres Verme Llorar was right under it. So big inspiration for all of us here, for all the Tejano singers, because she opened that door for all of us to cross over.
Yeah.
So what a beautiful song. But yes, we are here, Gente Hermosa, and it is a great day at the K-Alamo
Yes.
Studios, and we're having a
Love
lot of fun.
K-Alamo.
Woo, yes, lots
And of
of
course,
love.
thank you to DJ Taz. He does so much for us. I wish
Yes.
we could have a camera on him.
No, you're good, you're good,
and that
you're
we
good.
can, chat with him and say, hey, what's going on? He had some pizza earlier, looked delicious.
It did look
Oh,
delicious.
we're not supposed to know. Nobody's supposed to know.
Nobody's
But, oh my
supposed to know.
I'm on a diet. I'm on a diet.
But you deserve that slice or two.
You know what? I feel good because
Or
for the
3.
past week, for the past 7, 8 days, I haven't been able to eat nothing because of my shots.
Yeah.
That's
So,
right.
Yeah, now I feel like I just ate a whole buffet, but it was only 2 slices. So
There you go.
I
There
love
you
that,
go.
I love that you're very, you're disciplined. You know what to do. Take care of yourself.
at least I
that's-
try.
Yeah. So
Well,
we're proud of you.
it's interesting that he says because of the shots, because you take them for diabetes, correct? Or pre-diabetic.
Well, I don't. Yeah, but I don't take it to lose weight. I
Right.
take it for my A1C level.
Right,
bring
to
all my
regulate your
levels up.
sugars.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, the skinny shots, that's what they're really supposed to do, is regulate your sugars. And one of the side effects is weight loss, right? So I did want to bring that up because they're so amazing. So at our Inspire Serenity Med Spa, we offer the injections. And so not only does it help you lose weight, but your A1Cs will regulate.
And last night I only had a light dinner because I couldn't eat too much. So this morning at 3:00 in the morning, my sugars were 50.
Wow, that is so great. Wow, that's a great number. And were you a diabetic or pre-diabetic?
I've been a diabetic since I was 16 years old.
Oh my gosh, wow.
All my life.
All your life. So this medication has been revolutionary for you, basically.
I mean, it helps me, but it gets me really sick.
It does. So you get
At least to me, because I talk to other people where they're like, no, it doesn't get me sick. I'm at 12. I'm at a 10 and they can't raise it up because it gets me sick.
Because you can't take anymore.
Yeah.
But your body's already working at a 10, so you don't really need more,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's kind of the trick to this. If you're doing it for weight loss, you have to find the right amount that works for you to where you lose weight and you don't get sick.
Exactly.
So like he already knows his limits, but he's using it to control his sugars, right? Which, like I said, it does that for all of us.
So my A1C about 3 months ago was at 11.2 or 11.5. I'm at a 7.5 right now.
Fantastic. Wow, what a huge change.
And
Yes.
again, it's like
Yes.
the discipline. We see that you work very hard, and that's for everybody out there. And that's what we'd love to talk about, the spa, and make sure that you can, if you need to get that help, get with Michelle. And it's just something that we always want to make sure everybody's doing great, because I know with me, I have to deal with my mental health. I have to deal with myself mentally, physically. I have my 6-year-old. I have to be there for him 100%, and for my family, my husband and my mom. But I think that's a really great thing that we do talk about health, fitness, and wellness on the show as well, because it is very, very important.
And it all goes hand in hand.
Yes. And then really
right?
quick, we have Jimmy Garcia says, no camera on him. LOL.
Hello, Jimmy.
No, Jimmy. No, Jimmy.
We're going to turn that camera right on over. Oh, my goodness.
So, but that's absolutely right. And, you know, I did want to mention that right now, because we got the back to school special going on, they can actually get a buy one, get one free on our facials.
Yeah.
So if y'all are interested in some wonderful facials, we have the microdermabrasion, we have the hydrofacials, and we are doing the skin tightening. So what the skin tightening does, it lifts this area right here, which is wonderful. So, gente hermosa, if y'all are interested, give us a call at 210-957-1530. And again, it's Inspire Serenity Med Spa. And we are located right here off of Bandera. That's right, Bandera.
I'm thinking of the old
and
location.
410. Yeah, so come check it out. And if you were interested in information on the skinny shots, give us a call as well.
So we love that. And again, we have lots of great music from Hacienda. We want to, play some more music
That's
so we can
right.
bring on our guests. So we have another song we're
Yes,
going to
yes.
play.
What do you want to play, DJ Taz?
Why don't we do this one right here? El Guapo.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Estoy vistiéndome sexy porque al baile yo ya me voy. Y si tengo buena suerte, con un guapo bailo yo. Ya voy entrando al salón, dándole vista a mi alrededor. De aquí ya lo estoy mirando, al guapo que quiero yo. Ay, ¿cómo le hago para que el chico se fije en mí? Tal vez me acerque y le dé una miradita para que sus ojos me miren a mí. Ay, ¿cómo le hago para que el chico se fije en mí? Tal vez me acerque y le dé una miradita para que sus ojos me miren a mí. O le muevo la cintura para que el chico me dé una miradita. O le muevo la cintura para que el chico me dé una miradita. Pues una cosa estoy segura, con ese chico yo quiero bailar. Pues una cosa estoy segura, con ese chico yo quiero bailar. Ay, ¿cómo le hago para que el chico se fije en mí? Tal vez me acerque y le dé una miradita para que sus ojos me miren a mí. Ay, ¿cómo le hago para que el chico se fije en mí? Tal vez me acerque y le dé una miradita para que sus ojos me miren a mí. O le muevo la cintura para que el chico me dé una miradita. O le muevo la cintura para que el chico me dé una miradita. Pues de una cosa estoy segura, con ese chico yo quiero bailar. Pues de una cosa estoy segura, con ese
All right, and we are back, and that was El Viento, and of course they record with Hacienda, one of our new groups. Yes, and Andy and El Viento, and they'll be coming out with some new music really soon.
Oh, good.
So, gente hermosa, we have a guest, a special guest in the house. She's a very good friend of mine. She's been in the business a long time.
Ooh, 37 years.
There you go. She's like us. A really long time. And we're excited to have her on the show. So let's give a big, warm welcome to Mary Jane. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here. We are super excited. I wanted to bring you on the show so you can kind of talk about, you know, how long you've been in the business and how you got started in the business.
Yeah, I've been in the business 37 years. I actually started at 16 years old at Kakubuka, Houston Radio.
Kakubuka.
FM.
Remember that station?
I used to go bug all the DJs because I used to run fan clubs back in the day for Albert Tiger Diaz, Jerry Rodriguez Mercedes, Rick Gonzalez and La Preferencia.
Wow.
And fan clubs were big back in the day. Before Facebook, Google, anything.
That's all we had. We're fan clubs.
It was the fan clubs, and we would travel with the bands, and we would put the posters up in the glass windows or out on the posts at the stop signs. We would be there with our staple guns, and that's what I did. Yeah. And I knew a bunch of DJs, and they would send me out. Oh, you know, Eddie Guerrero's is going to release an album, because back then it was albums.
It was albums.
Before CDs, cassettes.
45s.
Yes. And they're like, oh, we need you to go get it for us before anyone else is like, okay, fine. Mingo Sadeva, too. I remember knocking on his bus. And he goes, who are you? You know, 15 years old. Tu chica, que sabes de esta música? You know, and I was just like, well, hey, I'm with Kakuka, and they wanted, you know, me to come up with the album, you know, and we were trying to set up interviews. So I was in this music business a long time ago, and I didn't know any fear. And they were like, you know, you just go up to the artist. I go, look, they're going to either say yes or no.
Yeah. And that's simple.
Yeah, it's very simple, and it's not costing me anything.
That's right.
You know,
and it's okay if they say no.
Yeah,
that's
it is.
Right?
It
There's
is.
nothing to be afraid of.
Exactly. They were just like overwhelmed, you know, but I would learn to run the board, and then the DJs would take off and leave me
running the board. There you go.
And then
free help right there.
They would be like, shh, don't say nothing, you know, just don't talk, just play the music. It's like, okay, fine. So that's how I got started, you know.
DJ Chaz doing that to us. I'm like, where did DJ Chaz go?
So that's how I got started, you know. So I got my first break, Gaguka, answering the phones and learning the board. And then my real debut was with KYST, 920 AM.
I remember KYST too.
So
well, we're going way back in time.
So when I started with them, I was 17, just graduated high school, going to college. And they told me, you know, for you to be a woman in this industry is very difficult, but you also have to fit some really big shoes. Elsa Garcia was at KYST before
That's right,
me.
she was.
Laura Canales as well.
I didn't know Laura was there.
Yes,
Okay, I'm getting a history lesson.
So they tell me these women, because they have the pictures on the wall, they're like, these women have paved the road for you. So you show them respect and you conduct yourself in a professional manner. So, and that's how I learned, you know, when you're out in public, professional manner, you don't drink, you don't do a lot of stuff.
That's right.
Back in the day, women weren't allowed to go and interact with the fans. We had to be backstage. So when Stephanie Lynn would perform, because I hung out with her, I grew up with a lot of women in the industry, and we would have to be in the back while the guys were out there mingling with everybody. You know, I remember her dad's like, no, mija, tú te quedas
Te quedas atrás.
Yeah, tú te quedas aquí.
Wow,
You don't go there.
That's how my dad was. He didn't even want me singing. and it was okay for Lisa to sing, but not for me.
But it was a different culture. And
Yes.
now it's just like, okay, you can interact with the people, you know, and now it's okay to have a drink in front of everyone. But back then it was so different for the women. We were set to a different standard. And it's still difficult for women in this industry.
It still is.
You know,
That's correct.
very, very difficult.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So she's going like way back in time. And, you know, I was just telling her that, you know, Rita was before Facebook. She was already doing Facebook before Facebook.
Yeah, I was going live.
You were
before
going
Facebook.
live,
Yeah.
yes. And she was one of the, I would say one of the pioneers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was on another radio station, but I mean, I'm not going to mention, but we were always on static every time. And I was bringing some big heavy hitters on my show. And we had food catered during hey, we're broadcasting live.
And people would say, hey, we can't hear you. What's going on? What's going on? And I was like, oh my gosh. So I decided to start my own radio station for internet radio and took off from there, and, you know, with the partnerships and so forth. And I said, okay, we want people to see us. So we use this program called Stick'em. And that was the video chat that we would do with people. And I still get the memories. It says, hey, it was like 2012, 2011. It says, we're broadcasting live. Click on the link. Well, I clicked on it because I wanted to, oh my gosh, we got to see. It says you have to be 18 or older to watch I was like, okay, I guess another big streaming company bought it. I was like, yeah, I'm not
be careful. Don't click that button.
Yeah, so I was like, yeah, we're not going there. And then after that, when they shut down, Stick'em shut down, we went to live stream, but you had to pay $50 a month for, you know, hey, I'm sharing this video, but if you went to watch it, you have to become a member to watch the video. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Well, people are not going to be paying $50. So of course, when 2016 came, that's when Facebook Live came about. So we were still, I was like, hey, we go live. I already knew what to do, going, you know, broadcasting live in the shows. And we already had our magazines. We already had the radio station. So the whole big dream was like, okay, we're going to get our TV network. And, you know, sure enough, I finally got that, you know, the past couple of years. But it was always the big dream to have the media company to be able to do all the great things like you know. So being on radio here on K-Alamo is an amazing thing to do. So
that is great. That is great. And I started my Redhead Creative Services right during COVID, because during COVID we were losing so many pioneers.
Yes,
and I remember getting the phone calls, because I've always been passionate about the behind the scenes, even though I'm out in the public, you know, being the social butterfly, shaking hands, taking pictures. I love the legal side of it, you know, and all the important stuff. And I remember people calling me, it's like, hey, you dabble with this, you know, can you help me? And I said, what is it that you need? So, you know, looking up the copyright, Library of Congress, and then they're just like, hey, my dad just passed away, you know, how do I get the royalties? And it broke my heart, especially in the Conjunto world.
Yes.
A lot of the songwriters never signed up with a performance rights organization. And so there are no royalties for them because they did not register with ASCAP or BMI. And to break that news, or I would do research to find out that someone's song had a different songwriter's name, because back in the day, Sony, Phony, Visa, Capital EMI, they did all the paperwork, and sometimes the paperwork wasn't correct.
Wasn't done correct, especially with females. And we had a lady that had a gold record, not just once, not twice. She had like 5 of them, and they never put her name as the writer. They put another writer's name that was a big man, a big writer, male, and you know, now she can't go back, but nobody ever told her. Right? She didn't know. So this knowledge that she's talking about really was specific to the record labels. Right? So they had all the control over that. And none of us, like artists, none of us would know any of it, or even the writers.
Yeah, exactly. So I do a lot of research. It's like, okay, you know, because the artists, they got their full-time jobs, they're performing, they're doing all that. They don't have the time and energy to try to backlog, or they don't even know where to start. They don't. So it's like,
I think that's
it.
the number one thing. People don't know where to
begin. They don't know where to start.
Yeah, so it's like, I got you. I'll take care of it. So that's how Redhead Creative Services came about, you know, because I will set up the digital platforms, because a lot of artists don't know how to do that. You know, they don't know what an ISRC number is.
Right.
There's so much that they don't know, and they're just like, well, I went to record the song and this. I go, yeah, but here's the deal. You go to a recording studio, you're paying them for a service to record your music. You're not paying them to give you the knowledge, like, okay, now you go here, now you do this, now you do that. No, you have to learn how to do this on your own, and it's a lot of reading. You know, and they're just like, it's so confusing. And it's not.
Well, honestly, okay, so it's not to you.
No,
and
it's
I
not.
can honestly say artists just, most of them think very different.
Yes.
And they're not, I guess, programmed really to think about the work side of it, because all their lives they just spend time on music, and they don't really learn or you know, a lot of them don't really pay attention in school because they're so tied up with music. And then a lot of them, like, let's look at little Joe, for instance. He didn't even go to junior high, right? Because he was in the cotton field. So a lot of the artists, you know, some of them don't even finish high school or get to college, so they don't have the skills that you need to have for this. So, you know, there's the entertainment side of the business. And then there's the legal side of the business. And so as a label, our job is to do all the legal and all the music. We do both sides,
Mm-hmm.
right? But now, because of the internet, anybody can do either side.
Right.
So services like yours, which is what we do, are now available for independent artists.
Yes.
And that was one of the things I wanted to bring you on to talk about, because not everybody gets signed up with a label.
No,
right?
no. Everyone's there's a lot of artists that are independent, but
Correct.
they have to learn what you can and cannot do. And I have a lot of artists that call me. It's like, hey, I put this song out and it got pulled and this and that. It's like, well, did you pay for the cover song license?
Right.
Was that? Well, if you're going to cover a song, you
have
need
to
to get
pay
the
to
license.
use it.
And it's for digital and for performance. So there's two
Right.
licenses
There are
that
two
you have to
licenses.
get.
And most of them do not know that.
No, they don't know that. And it's like, well, I can't release my song. It's like, no, not until you pay for the cover song license. I go, it's not your song, so it doesn't belong to you. If you're the songwriter and the publisher, it's your song.
Yeah.
But if someone else wrote it, you have to pay for a license to use their music. That's how
Correct.
they get paid. That's where royalties go into
That's right.
to part. So I have to do a lot of educating.
And research, because
And
sometimes you have to research that
Yes,
song.
yes.
Especially the ones that were done years ago, because
Yes.
they're hard to find, and
Yes.
sometimes it's messed up in the
Yes.
system.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it is really hard. And one of the beautiful things about it is, like, today's internet has changed the way we work in
Yes.
general, right?
Yes.
And on top of that, a lot of this homework you can do yourself because we have the internet to do it.
Yes.
But again, it's so much easier when you have a label and or a company that can guide you and show you. Yes,
Yes.
because there's a lot to it. And even back in the days, we didn't have the ISRC codes. We didn't have the metadata. We didn't have all the things that we have to do today.
Right.
And we're talking in the last 15 years, even for us as a label, we've had to research and catch up with all the
Yes.
things.
Yes.
So, 20 years ago, they weren't even using the ISRC codes. Now you
have
have
to
it.
because it's a thumbprint. It's your fingerprint to the
Yes,
song.
it's your
And
thumbprint,
then now
exactly.
you got to educate the artist. It's like there's two sets of royalties. You get royalties from AM and FM play, and then you get the digital side. So
Right.
you're earning royalties differently.
Yeah.
So you're earning 8 to 9 cents played at a radio station. You're earning 0.006 to the penny.
To the penny.
For
What we should
digital.
have done
To the
is
penny,
tell
exactly.
all those artists out there, grab your pen and paper and take notes and watch the replay.
Take notes, or
Yeah.
get her number down,
Yeah,
and
this
she
is
can do a
very
lot of this.
informative for
It
those,
is.
because I know there's a lot of people out there that
Yes.
they want to get
Yes.
into the industry and make music.
That's
Yeah.
right,
So,
right. And,
yeah.
and copyright law is changing consistently. Like the
Yes.
royalties just
Yes.
went up.
Yes.
So I don't know if you're aware of it, but I think now it's 12 something.
Yes, 12
and-
cents.
Yeah, it's
12
12
cents,
cents,
yes.
and it used to be 9 or
8, and then it went to 9. Yes.
and now it's 12. So
Yes.
it's constantly evolving, right? And then right now, you have to buy a sync license, which is separate from a regular license on
Yeah.
a song. And they have capped that license at $2,000, which means if you want to go record a country song, right? That's a big hit. And you want to do a video, you have to buy a license. And that publisher can tell you, you got to pay me $2,000 to do a video on my song. Wow. They can actually do that.
Yeah.
That's the cap.
Yeah.
And that is one of the rules that needs to change, because that's ridiculous. And someday they will change that. It's going to eventually evolve into where they say, okay, you only pay $500 or $300. But right now, that's a huge cap.
Yeah, it is.
And they can also say you can't do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you the permission to do it.
Yeah.
So we had a country singer come in, and he's a very well known, and he was showing me his material, and he translated it into Spanish, and he was doing bilingual and English. And I asked him, I said, well, did you get a license for this? And he was like, what are you talking about? He said, well, I did. He said, no, I did get a license. And I said, oh, they gave you permission to put Spanish lyrics on it? He's like, no, I just bought the license for Spanish. And I was like, you need to call and
Yes.
find out.
Yeah.
So he called, and the publisher's response was, I do not want my song in Spanish. You have no permission to change the lyrics on my song. In fact, he was ugly about it. Clearly, he
wow.
didn't care for the Hispanics very much,
Right.
or for Spanish very
Gotcha.
much. So he was very ugly about it. So the whole album he had done in Spanish had to be redone. And he spent a lot of money.
Wow.
And think about it, he had to spend it again,
And then
just
the
because he
license.
didn't
Yes,
know,
yes.
right? Maybe he could have gotten a different song that they would have given him permission.
Yeah.
Now, of course, this was like, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, and I would say today's market is changing.
Yes.
It's very more Tex-Mex friendly in the country film.
Yes.
And people are starting to embrace the Hispanic
Yeah.
culture everywhere, the crossover, right? But again, it's still a process.
It's still a process, but the cool thing about you got your digital song licensing. There's different companies that you can research and go to. If you go to DistroKid, they'll take care of it. CD Baby is, and then you got TuneCore. So they're all individuals, and they got their perks, and they got your, your pros and cons, and you just got to figure out which
You
one.
got to figure out which one
One's-
works for
yes,
you.
yes,
Exactly,
you
because they're
know.
all different.
Yes, and some of them will get the license for you, or then you can go to affordable licensing, song license
Right.
website, and
get it yourself.
Yes,
Right.
So, I mean, there's different avenues, but you have to do your research.
You have, well, or like I said, hire someone or a company that
Exactly.
can do it for you. And again, a couple of years ago, you didn't have the metadata embedded into the music.
Right.
Now
It
it's
is.
embedded into the music,
Yes.
and that's a whole other process
Yes.
that they have to go through. So again, these are all learning curves
See,
that
and
we're
even
learning.
for myself as somebody who uploads all this music from all these artists that send me music from around the world, and artists from Hacienda, it'll tell me, okay, these are the fees that you have to pay every ASCAP, BMI, everything else, and then all the other ones when you're uploading as a radio
Yes.
station.
Yes.
There's so many fees out there because
Yes.
There are.
these artists need to get their money.
Yes,
right.
yes.
So
That's right.
people might think it's something easy to do, but it's
No,
not.
it's not, because our rates. Because not only do I do that, I'm also a songwriter, publisher. I do so many things. I wear so many hats in this industry. But I also am an internet radio DJ, and I listen to Mike, our CEO, and he's always talking about how our royalty fees are getting higher and higher.
Yes, yes.
And it's like, Cece, it's like, I'm sorry, they send me music and we got to play it.
Yeah.
New artists, it's the new
But that's
generation,
true. Yes.
we got to keep the music going.
Absolutely.
know.
We do. And it has changed a lot, the industry, but it's still a wonderful industry.
Yes.
It
and
is.
it's still hard and
We
competitive.
love what we do.
you know.
We do what we
Yes,
love,
yes,
you know?
yes.
We do love what we do, and that's why
Yes.
we do it.
Yes,
right?
yes. And my kids, they didn't know that part of me, because I took a 20-year hiatus to raise a family. And the moment I got an opportunity to come back to radio, I jumped ship.
They were already
You know?
growing. You're like, okay, I'm ready to go back to
You know?
work.
And they're just like, wait, hold on. It's like, I knew you used to do radio, because my kids would Google me. And like, Mom, because they didn't believe me. They thought I was just making things up, I guess. I don't know. And they're like, we Googled you. Yeah, you're Cece. And I'm like, yeah. So Cece Castillo was my radio name. And then not until a few years ago, people started knowing me as Mary Jane. And they were so confused. So I had to do this long post. It was like when I was doing FM radio, AM radio. Back in the day, you had to have a fake name because of all the stalkers, and
Yes.
just for your personal safety. It was like, yes, it's Cece Castillo, but my real name is actually Mary Jane. So call me either or. And a lot of people thought it was two different people. I was two different persons, and it's like, no, it's me. And then they were so confused. So you'll see it on my Facebook memories, on my posts, how I had to educate everyone. It's like, call me Cece, call me Mary Jane, either way. That's my name.
Either way, it's all good. It's all good. Absolutely, absolutely. So, but that was one of the things I wanted to kind of bring in and talk about, and just kind of let everybody know there's a lot of behind the scenes
There
work
is.
that needs to be done when you're recording music. And you got to get it out there. You got to do it right. You got to have it licensed. You got to have it registered. And it's a lot of work, and it is costly.
Oh, yes.
So everything costs. You got to buy that license. You got to buy the sync license. Everything costs. It's not as easy as it used to be. It was
No.
super easy back in the days. It's very complicated now, but it's doable. We can all
Yes.
do this.
Oh, yes.
And at the studio on the Hacienda show, I do interview a lot of artists, and I go over this with them, whether or not they record for Hacienda or not. I want them to be aware, and I want them
Yes.
to be educated.
Yes.
So that nobody takes advantage of them.
Yes.
One of the things I do want to talk about was the fact that so many great Tejano artists have been taken advantage of because
Yes.
they didn't know better
Yes.
back in the days.
Yes.
But that's a whole other segment here. So I wonder if we want to go into a music break here real fast, and then we're going to talk about some of these really sad stories
Yeah, okay.
that have happened to some major artists
Yeah.
just because they didn't know the business side
Yes,
of it,
yes.
right? And that's just so to inform everybody out there so it never happens to anybody else
Yeah.
again, right?
Education's key.
All right, let's do it.
Qué eternas son mis noches, qué lenta es mi agonía, qué triste es vida mía vivir pensando en ti. Porque sin la esperanza vivir es un tormento y tú en mi pensamiento agrandas mi sufrir. Qué largas son las horas, qué lento es mi desvelo, qué grande desconsuelo pensar que te perdí. Quisiera yo olvidarte, borrarte de mis sueños, pero es en vano empeño que yo te olvide a ti. Como estas golondrinas buscando primavera, así niña hechicera, un día dijiste adiós. Te fuiste para siempre, volaste de mi lado y solo me has dejado recuerdos de tu amor. Qué eternas son mis noches, qué lenta es mi agonía, qué triste es